Dr. Huey P. Newton had an epiphany once and then said, I don't expect the white media to create positive black male images. So it begins with a quote by Huey, and then it ends with this quote up here by Malcolm. So I wrote between a Huey quote and a Malcolm quote. So everything in between those two quotes is me. So that's literally between Huey and Malcolm. The piece is that there's a lot of content in it. You already know, if you were here last week, I write heavy bars. So we want to break it down. I don't waste no lines. I don't waste no words. Everything has a meaning. It has an intention. It has a purpose. So if there's something that you see and you're like, what does that mean? Why did you say that? We're going to break it down after. Okay. So we're going to take this line by line. Y'all good? Y'all ready? Yep. Okay. So this is between Huey and Malcolm. The Dr. Huey P. Newton had an epiphany once, and then he said, I don't expect the white media to create positive black male images. So he wouldn't be surprised to see how evening networks accumulate their net worth of billions off assassinating the character of our children. They objectively report the news about black lives. Matter of factly, they spin white lies that evolve into black lies about black lives because we don't matter to them only in terms of their bottom line. You see, our worth in their eyes is somewhere between felines and pigeons. Y'all, we still less than canines. Because ninjas remember how they sent that boy Mike Vick to prison, but be the color a George Zimmerman, a private citizen, and you can legally murder a nigga and walk off scot-free. But Walter Scott can't flee, and Eric Gardner can't breathe, Tyisha Miller can't sleep, and Oscar Grant can't see his daughter no more. Oh no, this ain't folklore. This is so much more. 7 years ago, before that, 1619, the first time them white beings brought us to these shores. And since then, it's been all out war. You see, their strategies and their tactics have adapted. They went from de jure to de facto. Ipso facto, they tormented and attacked us to extinguish the light of black souls. Theirs is a pathological praxis rooted in a xenophobic, schizophrenic, racially insecure, culturally immature social apparatus, forcing them to concoct a reality which confers to them an unearned status of unmerited advantage to make them feel adequate. In turn, we are termed the thugs and the savages. Whole deck stacked against us, we victims of bell curves, intelligent quotient averages, recipient of jail terms, we residents in these ghetto pans labyrinths, and very few of us can survive the madness. And for those that do, them government issue bullets fly faster than light travels from the sun to our planet. That third rock from the sun. They trying to have me Malcolm in the middle. Nah, I'm Malcolm in the window, on third watch, watching over our daughters and sons. Kalishnikov 47 cock for them when they come. And we know they gonna come. Because for us, this land is a Robert Kirkman graphic novel, for it feeds off the blood of our young. Y'all, we are the walking dead. Just channeling our inner Tyrese, because we ain't destined to make it past the first few letter boxes of the first few sheets. We are akin to proteins and fatty lipids in the belly of the beast. Our appendages are the meat of fleshy mango stuck in teeth, to be plucked and sucked in moments after the feast. Now let that digest. Yeah. I know these words hit hard to the gut like dysentery, or hard to the brain like religious missionaries colonizing souls and minds. No matter how you reduce it, pain is the protocol. You either die and revoke your past or try to pass as something you not on that Rachel Dolezal. But y'all, we can't opt out. We can't drop out, especially when them cops is out. That index itchy when the gun come out. We go to sleep dreaming at night, wishing it would all run out and be replaced by something different when the sun comes out. But the day breaks and the morning is here, and we find ourselves in mourning again. And I don't want to see any more mornings where we're mourning kith and kin. So I guess it means that we back on that Malcolm again. In essence, it only means that we want one thing. We declare our right to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary. That's it. Right on. It's deep. It's heavy. It's heavy. What y'all got? What you hear? What stood out? Would you underline? Would you highlight? Let's talk about it. Okay, I got you, then I got you next. They trying to have me Malcolm in the middle. Nah, I'm Malcolm in the window. So there are a couple different schemes that I have in the piece. So the last thing that we did, the last time I was here, it was a verse from a song that I have called Tradition. This one isn't a song, but whenever I write, I love to rhyme and I love to play with the language. So I use the scheme a few different times in this piece where I'm using names of books or television shows. So Malcolm in the Middle, that's the name of a television show. I ain't never watched it. I have absolutely no idea what the show's about. But I know the title of the show, and I know it's like a comedy. You feel me? So I'm like, they trying to have me Malcolm in the middle, like on some comedy, like it's a joke, my existence. Nah, I'm Malcolm in the window. So I don't know how many of you seen, it's a very famous photo of Malcolm X. So right before his assassination, so he's killed on February 21st, a photo was taken of him where he's in his home, he's looking out the window, he has an AK-47 in his hand because he knew people were trying to come to hurt him and hurt his family. So I said, they trying to have me Malcolm in the middle. Nah, I'm Malcolm in the window on Third Watch. Third Watch is another television show. I have absolutely no idea what it was about, but I know the name of the show and it made sense in the scheme. So I'm like, they trying to have me on this comedy stuff with the Malcolm in the middle. Nah, I'm Malcolm in the window. I know what my mission is. On Third Watch, I'm on watch for my community. You know what I'm saying? Trying to protect my community. You know what I'm saying? Watching over our daughters and sons. Kalishnikov 47. So when you say an AK-47, it's a Kalishnikov 47 because Kalishnikov was the name of the dude who made it, and the year that it was made was 1947. So that's why it's called an AK-47. So Kalishnikov 47, cock for them when they come, and we know they're gonna come. We still less than canines. All right, so I said we somewhere between felines and pigeons. Y'all, we still less than canines, because this is part of the answer to the question. How many of y'all in here ever heard of the young brother by the name of Michael Vick? Anybody in here familiar with Michael Vick? All right, go ahead, Victor, tell me. Professional football player. Probably one of the most popular athletes in the United States of America, maybe even the world at the time that we're talking about. So he went to Virginia Tech, played football there, was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. And then while he was a star football player for the Atlanta Falcons, he ends up with the situation involving canines. Anybody know what happened with him and canines? So he was doing some dog fighting. A lot of people fight dogs. I'm certainly not saying that's the right thing to do. Mike Vick was fighting dogs. And so there was this big investigation, federal investigation. The federal government got involved in following Michael Vick. Said that you were wrong for fighting dogs, mistreating these dogs, having some of these dogs killed. So because of that, you're gonna go to prison. So Mike Vick, it would be, and I'm certainly not wishing this on the brother, but like probably the most popular, who would you say is the most popular male athlete right now? All right, so somebody said Patrick Mahomes. You said LeBron. Let's rock with LeBron. So it would be the same thing as if LeBron James right now, if something happened to him and he got sent to prison, it would be the exact same thing. I mean, let's think about that. A dude this powerful, this popular, ending up with a case, in this case sending him to prison. That was Michael Vick a few years ago for dogs. So then I said, because ninjas remember how they sent that boy Mike Vick to prison, but be the color of George Zimmerman. Who's George Zimmerman? Y'all know who he is? George, he did what? So George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin. So George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman was not an officer, and it doesn't justify it if he was an officer. But he just a regular white dude. And he had called the police saying, I see this kid walking through the neighborhood. The police said, leave the boy alone. Multiple times they said, leave the boy alone. He goes out of his house, creates this conflict with Trayvon Martin, kills him. So he kills a human being, kills an unarmed, innocent kid. Did George Zimmerman go to prison? He didn't go to prison at all. Matter of fact, he's suing the family of Trayvon Martin right now because he's claiming that they have defamed him. They have like desecrated his reputation. He killed their son, and now he's trying to sue their family for that. Mike Vick, the most popular athlete probably at that time, mistreats dogs, goes to prison for killing dogs. George Zimmerman kills a black kid. Nothing happens to him, and then turns around and sues the family of the kid that he killed. This is America. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I put that in there. Like when we begin to break down and really piece out what's being said, the comparison between those two, it's so extreme, but it's the norm for where we exist. It's crazy. It's crazy. Amazing day. Amazing session. So today is February 20th, 2020. We're just wrapping up here at Langston Hughes Academy in Stockton, California, Aspire Charter School Network, and we did the second edition of the Black program, Building Leaders and Activists with Collective Knowledge, with the students here at Langston Hughes Academy. Phenomenal. We talked about Dr. Huey P. Newton, Brother Malcolm X, using Between Huey and Malcolm from the Black Boy Poems book, the Black Boy Poems curriculum, went down. Young folks going crazy, asking questions, critical thinking, engaging with the content, bro. We had so much fun in there. I mean, to see young people engage from the beginning of the session to the end of the session, we was in there for 2, maybe almost 2.5 hours, non-stop, powerful. Letting folks be inspired by their history, by their tradition, by their culture, but then most importantly, seeing what that means to them so they can see the power that they have in themselves to give life to that tradition, that history, that culture in the present day, to then begin to create change for their community. That's what we're about. So if you want this, bring the Black program, bring the Black Boy Poems curriculum, you gotta do it. We gotta do it for the people, we gotta do it for the community. Power to the people.